Hey everybody, this is the second time I've gone live today. This one was actually planned. The one this morning was completely unexpected. So I want you guys to let me know if there's somebody in the room by clicking like or say make a comment, do something so that I know when to begin the story. So, is there anybody there? I'll wait a minute. I've got my lavender incense burning for a reason, and I got my candle burning. I'm thinking that there are 11 people here in the room. There's 13. Okay, good. I'll get started. I'm going to start with a line from The Color Purple. All my life, I've had to fight. And what's funny about that is I once had one of my magical mentors tell me that, people see me as an angry black woman, which is a really messed up stereotype. But the honest to God truth is I've got a lot of reason to be angry. In the last few years, where my mentality was completely different before about the state of race relations in this country, it's changed. It's gone actually back to my much younger days. One of take no shit. But there's a difference. When you grow up, you learn that there's a time and a place for everything. On Saturday, I posted a status about knowing when to shut the hell up and to sit down. Okay? Now, if you all know me, and some of y'all go back with me, I got a lot of my friends from my mundane life that are here. I've got friends from my magical life that are here. And if you know anything about me, I come from a family of hell-raising women. So as I've gotten older and I've made some mistakes, I've learned that, yes, while you're a warrior, you can't always put on the war paint. There are times when you have to be very quiet to get your point across. And so that's why this particular situation bothers me. We're often toned police. I'll give you an example. I was in Bed Bath & Beyond here. And this was the first microaggression. And up until Saturday, the only one I experienced since I've been here. And I went up to the woman after walking around their store, trying to spend a $100 gift card on some curtains. And I said, you know what? It was an elderly lady. And trust me, if I do anything, I respect my elders, even though sometimes the temptation to be disrespectful is great. And so I told the woman, my cousin Ashley is here. She's supposed to be in here, but I think she's still feeding the kids. Are you coming in here? Yeah. Anyways, she can witness. She was with me with all these things in situations where I have become uncharacteristically nice. Okay? You all know me. I'm often talking shit. I'm often angry about things. But I'm also happy. You'll see that my Facebook profile reflects my anger against mistreatment, but my joy of funny things, good things, and great people. So that's who I am, okay? And I don't like being misunderstood. I believe that I'm very clear with the things that I see. In fact, one of the things that I've learned in adulthood is that I need to say what I mean and mean what I say. And I need to be able to stand behind the words that come out of my mouth. Now, in the past, I might have had some theological concepts or some historical concepts that I believed in that changed. That happens. I'm not the same person I was a year ago or 3 years ago. And most certainly, the racial environment of this country actually has also altered me. Where I thought we were making progress, we really are not. So, back to Bed Bath & Beyond. I go up to the older, more mature lady at the counter, and that's my candle and my glasses. And I say to her, you know what, this has been a really frustrating experience for me. Because on your website, you have these beautiful curtains, and in your store, you have nothing. And I was like, we're trying to keep brick and mortar stores open. They're important. They give more people jobs. But if you all consistently don't have nice things on your shelves, we can't buy them. And then we have to go to the website. And you might find yourself out of a job. And you really probably should tell your buyers that. Because I believe that if I'm unhappy about something in a store, I could tell somebody. And basically, you know, you all are friends, so I'm actually probably a little bit more informal than I was with this woman. And this woman was like, well, I feel like you're yelling at me. And my cousin looked at me and I looked at her and I said, I haven't raised my voice. I've not been disrespectful to you. I'm telling you that I'm a customer. I have a complaint and this is what the problem is. And then I went home and I thought about it and I realized that this woman comes from a different generation. And it is highly possible that this woman has never encountered speaking to a black woman in a situation like that. And that she took umbrage to my dissatisfaction. And that's what I realized, man, this is what people really think of me, of us. And I have made a conscious decision, just like I did today earlier with that potential client. I could have went off, gave it a sister neck. I'm capable of all those things. And when they're necessary, Diane, my inner Diane Carroll, I don't say inner white girl, my inner Diane Carroll, my inner Ruby D, sometimes has to get up and leave the room. And, you know, then my Eartha Kitt has to take over. So as you guys know, I've had really positive experiences here with the pagan community. And I hope to continue those, but there's something that I need to talk about so that that can continue. Because I'm a big person that really relies on reputation. And it was suggested, I went into several occult stores when I first got here, not only to get supplies, but to tell them about my products. And it was suggested by a mutual Facebook friend that I could work at one of these stores as a reader. And I really thought it was going to be wonderful. I went in, kind of like had an interview, brought my products, talked about how I read, even read for the owner. While I was there, one of their employees, one of their readers, I was sick. I was coming up off the flu. And for some reason, I had harvested lemon balm and coneflower echinacea on the same day at a friend's house. And I was just talking about my experience, and I confused them. And the woman went straight off on me. Did she go off on me, Ashley?
Which one were you talking about?
When we were there for the first meeting about the
other reader lady?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
She was like irate.
Irate, just angry. And the owner didn't say a word. I was blown away. And the owner's like, oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
She's crazy.
She's, yeah, whatever. And so we got to talking, and I said, well, you know, not only, you know, do I like to do readings, I like to do workshops. I like to do things. I'm like, do you guys have any programming like that? And they said no, but they would really love that, you know. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is going to be awesome for me. This is going to be awesome for them. I can really make a difference here. I can really help out because the store is beautiful. They were nice people. And I got a good vibe. However, I did tell the owner that I would not read on the day when that particular reader was there because she had bad energy. About a week later, I heard a story about how that same reader went off on the owner in front of a store full of customers. Basically told her, well, you don't want to make any money. And I couldn't believe it. And when I talked to the owner, and I'm going to talk about it because it happened in public, this is not something that happened behind closed doors, she was reticent to do anything. I'm like, what you gonna do about that? You can't have nobody dissing you up in your own store. What you gonna do? And she chose not to do anything or whatever she chose to do. All I know is a woman still reads at the store. And I am a consummate professional. People who know me well, people I feel like I have a sisterhood with, I may get down with you a little bit differently than I do the general public. So this is blowing my mind. It hurt my feelings. It disheartened my belief in being a better person for having hormonal Not hormonal, harmony, because this was definite hormonal shit, let me tell you. Right. So it really threw me for a loop. So I get ready, I go into the store. Now let's own a couple of things I haven't done right. I was late twice in the 4 or 5 times I've been there, and that's because I have an older daughter who needs counseling at times, and we had 2 situations where I had to speak with her at length and I was late, and I apologized profusely because I was like, but I didn't miss a reading. One time people were waiting for me and they didn't wait long, so I own that, and they were like, oh, we're cool with that. That's what I was concerned about. So we're sitting in the store, and I find out that another local center, metaphysical center, is having a reader fest, a psychic fair that day. And I'm like, and nobody's in the store but me, my cousin Ashley, who's sitting right here next to me having her dinner, and a young man who hangs out there often. There's a lot of people that just kind of hang out.
Loitering.
On the way to this particular store, I'd spoken my concerns to my cousin. I'm like, you know what? It's not a lot of traffic. We still haven't come up with a time and a date for a workshop, even though I've got one in the bag at least. And I could be doing readings at home and making money and doing things for my own business. So I need to know how to go about this. And so we talked about it, and I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I need to stop hanging out, and I just need to go in the reading room and do my own studies, because it does provide a quiet place for me away from the kids. And, if I get a client, great. If I don't, I don't. So that was the plan when we came into the store. And so then I came in all happy, and I said, hey, I promised the people that follow me on Facebook that we'd go live today here from the store. Don't you think that's awesome? And
No
this is
enthusiasm at all.
none. This is one of the owners is sitting at the desk, and this is not the owner who brought me in. And she was just like, kind of like, oh, okay. And I said, wait a minute. You do understand that if I go on live with you, I'm going to show people the store. You have to talk to them. You have to engage with them. You have to tell them about the store. None of that.
No.
This was after me talking about missed opportunities, like partnering with this other metaphysical center for the Psychic Fest. And I'm like, and how come we're not down at ComFest? I'm like, she's like, well, I don't like to do things like that. And I said, well, me and Ash would have went and did the table. This is a place where every hippie in Columbus is.
People come from other states.
They come from
for
other
ComFest.
states for ComFest, and there were actually other stores that were down there. And I'm like, okay, well, I sat there and realized they're not gonna do those type of opportunities. So standing up talking to her about things, and I asked her, hey, when are you gonna have some more workshops? And I think the door opened, but because she really didn't acknowledge the person, I think she just said hello. She didn't get up. She didn't say, how can I help you? Is this your first time here? Do you practice magic? I don't even know if she said hello. So I was completely oblivious to this person being in the store. And I was, when I was there, the first few weeks, engaging with customers. And, not only sharing my products with them, because of course I'm trying to sell my products, I'm telling them about the other things in the store and things that I feel like maybe the owners would need a little bit more education on. And I'd offered even that. I'm like, anything you want to learn, anything you want to talk about, you want to practice, you want to do prosperity magic, you want to do stuff like that, I got you. Because I really liked them. And sometimes people are not receptive to what you have to give. And I'm a giver. And sometimes I've learned I give sometimes too aggressively. So knowing all of this about myself made me very careful with the way I dealt with them. And I'm like, well, if they don't want to do it, we had already had the conversation in the car. Okay. So I say to her, so what about these workshops? Do you guys want to do them? And I told Ashley, don't take a bite yet. Didn't I tell you this was going to be the last time I asked them? She's chewing. Just nod. That was going to be the last time I said anything. And trust me, it will be the last time. Because when I said that to her, she's like, well, we don't fill up. And she said it in a fully audible voice. We don't fill up workshops well. And I looked at her and I said, and this tone of voice, well, you don't market very well. That's what I said. That's not loud. She shushed me. I'm a grown ass woman. And when I tell you that my natural instinct is to snatch somebody's goddamned wig when they shushed me, you will understand why Ashley told me that she was incredibly proud of my response, because she thought it was going down in the Whole Foods parking lot. No, she really did think it was. She really thought I was about to, throw some bows, at least verbally.
Yeah.
I was like, I stepped back, I breathed, because this would have been a reoccurring theme all week. Shut your mouth. And so I stepped back and I breathed and I said, well, you know what? This is the only day I see you guys. I didn't know there was a client in the store, but maybe we should handle this by email. So I sat down to decompress, and I wasn't getting any less angry because she shushed me. And I'm a grown ass woman. And I sent a text to my cousin Ashley while we were sitting in the store. I said, I'm about to bounce. I'm about to bounce up out of this motherfucker right now. And I ain't never coming back. And of course, Ashley's just like, all right, let's go outside. Let's have a smoke. Let's talk about it.
Maybe you should talk to Megan.
And maybe you should talk to the other owner. When I don't mention no names. We go talk to the other owner. And we're not going to press the matter anymore. And so we went back in and we started planning some stuff for a customer who wanted to order some kits for her class. I figured, I'm going to be here. There isn't any foot traffic. Business is extremely slow, and I'm certainly not getting any readings, so I might as well use my time wisely. But as I was re-entering the store, as the lady that I am, I came back in. I properly sat in the chair across from her in the table, and in the lowest voice humanly possible told her that it is not nice to shush grown people. It's not nice at all. And I got up and I went back and I sat down. And then the other owner came. And at that point, no, that was after we came back.
Oh, yeah.
And I was hungry, wasn't nobody there. I'm sure she was itching for the opportunity to tell on me. And I knew it. I'm not stupid. So I said, you know what? Hey, me and Ash are going to go get some lunch. You guys want anything from the store? Because that's just the way I am. I can be phony just like Becky. And they were like, we'll let you know. And so we went, and she had given us something for the kids' playhouse. We went by her house. We picked it up. We went to eat. And then we came back. And when we came back, she was saging. And I'm like, what you saging for? And she says, oh, well, I was here last night, and I just bad energy, and I'm just, really cranky. And I said, well, you do understand, because I'm sorry, I'm a former college professor. I use everything as a teaching opportunity, especially for the people that I still care about. Now, having a disagreement with somebody is not enough to make me cut them off. It's not even enough to make me cuss you out anymore. Because I've grown. But, so I said, there are lots of things you can smudge with that are going to be more effective according to the circumstance. So, you got to think about what you got to get rid of. You can smudge with dragon's blood. You can, make an incense, a cleansing incense. There are lots of things you can do. Lavender, if there is an uncomfortable situation going on. And I just looked at her. So we sat there a little bit longer. We chit-chatted, very friendly and whatnot. And I'm also really good about letting minor shit go, because life is too short. And so she said, well, you're a psychic. Do you think you're going to get any readings today? I said, not with a psychic fair at the Reiki Center and Confest going on. You ain't got to be a psychic to know that. She's like, well, you can go ahead, go. And I was like, coolio. See y'all in a couple weeks. And my cousin and I went over the situation over and over again. And really, I think we were going to drop it. Mm-hmm. But we weren't going to ask them to participate in anything anymore. I was just going to go there and read, sell my products, and leave, and not try to help, because not everybody wants the gifts you have to give. So as a worker, and I tell this to my clients all the time, my reading clients can attest, you can witness, I will tell them, look, I suggest you do such and such work. You can either buy the products from me, I can consult you on how to make them yourself. I'm not here to try to sell you anything. People buy my products because they work. And if you want to make your own stuff, I'm like, go for it. I don't do a lot of work for people. We've talked about this before, because when your magic is personal to you, you have an investment. I have an investment. I care about my clients. I don't do work for clients unless, and I can't see any comments, so you almost be completely enthralled. I don't do work for clients unless it's something really serious and it's something I can do, because some things can't be handled remotely. So I've learned how to not give gifts to people who don't want them. I'm teaching my daughter, Father's Day, buy your dad a Bears t-shirt. Don't buy him a tie. He doesn't wear a goddamn tie to work. He wears t-shirts. Buy the man a goddamn t-shirt. She wanted to buy my Mother's Day gift. I said, look, I want this rotary sander. I'm busting down this desk this weekend. I want a goddamn rotary sander. She mad because she can't go pick something out to surprise me, knowing good and goddamn well I don't like being surprised. So, right. So, I'm trying to teach my daughter, give people gifts they really want. I'm that one mama that if you gave me a Rowenta iron for Christmas, I would love you. All my heart. You could miss curfew for the next 10 years. I don't give a fuck. But if you bought me some fancy ass diamond jewelry, I'm gonna look at you like you're crazy. So once again, I take these big lessons in life and I try to put them in little kid packages for my youngsters that I have influence upon. They tried to get on live tonight, y'all, talking about we want to be black witches too. I'm like, and Ashley said, well, you kind of already are. It's in the blood. But no, everybody ain't got, that's another thing, conjure workers, they got to know all your business. They don't need to see every single thing you're doing in your life. And they certainly don't need to hear about your troubles. So you have to understand why I am reticent to discuss this with you. But it's a matter of reputation. It's a matter of being misunderstood. And I'm tired of it. So I thought nothing else of it. And my girlfriend who referred me called me and relayed their version of events. And I did tell my girlfriend, I'm going live with this. And because this could get around to people and people can really think, well, she's pretty hot-headed, so she probably did this. I don't want people to think things of me that are not true. When I go off, I go off. When I don't, I don't. She was told I got loud with the other owner in the store. In front of the customer. And I'm like, whoa, back up here. I answered the question, or I responded in kind to what your sister said. She said, we don't fill up events. I said, well, you don't market them well. Now, in retrospect, well, Dana, there's always a possibility. This community, even internationally, even on the web, is a small one. I've seen people get online and make up fake reviews of mambos and workers that I really know and trust just because something didn't work out the way they thought it should work out. And I didn't want that to happen. I've parted ways with lots of people. I parted ways with my magical mentors, and we had an amicable departure in the end. We were just going in different directions. But this did not end amicably because Diane and Carol got up and left the room and Eartha Kitt sat down. And I said, well, wait a minute. What the fuck you talking about? I got loud. I said, you about to experience loud. This is loud. I did not get loud. In fact, I restrained myself. I was complimented by my equally crazy ass cousin. and was willing to just say bygones and walk away. Even if I did stop working at that store, this conversation wouldn't take place. But I'm going to tell you something. When somebody is willing to tell somebody else, I don't give a goddamn who they are, about something you did, now you know they telling other people too. And she basically said that, well, I just want us all to be nice to each other. I said, how dare you tell me don't say negative things about the business in front of the client when I'm responding to something negative that the owner has already said. Maybe it could have been phrased differently, and I can own that. I could have said, oh, it's all in the marketing. But I'm chit-chatting with her because I think we are peers. And I didn't know there was a client in the store because she sure enough fuck did not get up to wait on that woman. I was told that the customer came back and complained. Did she complain about me? Because I wasn't in the store but for a second while she was there. Or did she complain about the fact that nobody paid attention to her and waited on her?
Nobody even acknowledged her entering.
Right.
She came in, she might as well have been a bump on a log.
And I stopped running up to customers when they came in because it's not my store. Once again, stop trying to give gifts that people won't receive. I am not going to be accused of stepping on anybody's foots, toes, whatever, in their store. It's not going to happen. You know, I got better shit to do. So we've gone now from a situation where I was willing to teach them what they wanted to know, despite the fact that they had the same books I did, and to being lied on. And she said, I just want everybody to be nice. I said, let me explain something to you. I don't know if you ever heard the Dixie Chick song, but when somebody tells a lie on me, I'm not really ready to make nice. In fact, that's probably about the only thing you can do to me that will set me off, is lie on me. We can go round and round. You can call me a bitch, and you might rightfully so be telling the truth in that particular instance. You might be able to call me intolerant. You might be able to call me abrasive. But you're not going to lie on me. And so that's why I'm coming to talk to you all, because this is a small community here. It's a small community online. And, you know, every person, every client I have ever had has talked about my professionalism. So it was really disappointing. And basically I ended the conversation with, she's like, well, I just think that she said something negative, you said something negative, and that you both should apologize. And I started my sentence with saying, I do not apologize. And she's like, what? You don't apologize? I said, you didn't let me finish what I was saying. I said, I do not apologize when I haven't done anything wrong. So guess what, boo-boo? You're not going to get an apology from me. In fact, you ain't going to get shit from me. You know, if you want to keep carrying my products, knock yourself out. And she told me that she loved our products. And I said, well, Ashley will be down to take care of that. But as far as I am concerned, because of the fact that I was trying to help you so that maybe this time next year you might still be fucking open, you ain't going to get none of that from me. And I'm going to stay at home. And I will be available weekends. I'll be available Saturdays again from my home. I mean, yeah, if I was unprofessional, I could have took readings online while I was sitting in there shopping. Anybody who showed up would have had to wait. But you don't do business like that. You don't come and squat on somebody else's property and do that. So, you know, reputation. I'm not going to let anybody fuck with mine. You all who have been here with me from the very beginning, you knew how some of the people in this community who thought they knew every fucking thing about me and about life tried to make me look like a fraud because I was learning. In fact, I love my mentors. You know, even though I don't work with them anymore, I didn't even want to start a store. I didn't want to read for people. They saw something in me that I did not. But it also threw me into this world, which we all quickly got out of spiritual workers that ain't got no goddamn business. They don't have any business, and we know this because they spend all their time online going off on each other about bullshit. And arguing about who's been a slave. Arguing about who can practice magic. And I've said it once again, and I'll say it, my perspective on that has changed a bit since these things happened. It's an ancestor practice. The more I study, the more I learn. If your ancestors didn't practice, who the fuck are you talking to? And that's all I have to say about that. I don't care what color you are. You can be green. Did your ancestors practice hoodoo? No, yeah, goddamn lie. They're Martians. I mean, seriously. So, and I'm not going to be tone policed. I understand that there are people that don't, when they hear the sound of a black woman's voice, especially because they're not used to hearing our voices, that people don't understand why it's so very important for us to be vocal in the media, have television shows, be represented in music. Because when they hear my voice, my mother could pass for white until she opened her mouth. Mm-hmm. Then I become that black bitch. It's like when Charlie Brown's teacher is talking, wah, 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 wah. They don't hear a thing I'm saying. They're hearing the inflection in my voice. They're hearing the cadence that comes because I'm a black woman. And guess what? I know some white girls that can do it too, and they are not faking the funk. Why? Because they grew up in the same projects I did. Okay?
My friend Heather.
Black is a state of mind. I know plenty of plantation Negroes that ain't black. Clarence Thomas. What's these fools that ran for president lately? I've put them out of my mind. Oh God, I can't even remember them. See, but there's a lot of black folks that ain't black, and everybody want to be black till it's time to really be black. Till it's time when your ass is on the line and you're being lied on, and sometimes those lies can cost you your life, as proven in numerous situations. Ben Carson, damn, you just had to bring him back. You just had to talk him up. Now you know that fucking fool's gonna be in the news somewhere talking shit. He gonna make somebody curse him. But seriously, black is a state of mind. And, I think that, people talk about black kids that are adopted by white people. You understand, kids need homes. Love is love. But I do think it is the obligation of anybody that adopts a child from another culture to teach them about their culture. And Lord have mercy, comb their hair. I can't tell you how many women I have approached in the store. I'm like, honey, if you need some help, just call me. My hairstyles look a little mammy-made, but I can help you. And some people are happy and some people are offended. But, it's hard enough being a black kid in this country with all of this European standards of beauty and all. My hair ain't seen a comb in almost a goddamn decade, but I still know how to comb it out from the roots. I had a situation when I was a very little girl growing up in Medina, Ohio, and I would go home to Chicago, which was where my mom was living because my grandmother raised me, and I spent every summer in the projects. And we get our hair braided and we get the beads and we come home. And my cousin was half white, so hers never made it home. But my hair was extra nappy. It only became racially ambiguous as I got older. And I was standing in the girls' bathroom one day. I'm the only black girl in every grade, not class, every grade. And I had a girl tell me, this 1979, why you trying to look like Bo Derek? Now, Lord Jesus, if my parents hadn't educated me properly, I might have had an issue with that. That might have been an inner issue of insecurity that I carried with me for the rest of my life. But I knew better. And I said, no, baby, you got that wrong. Bo Derek's trying to look like me. So, there are things about my person and about my reputation that I'm not going to stand for, especially because I'll be wrong lots of times. Not usually with my clients, so don't worry about that. But I'm human. I make mistakes, and I wrote a blog post apologizing to my sister Lakeisha because I tried to play like I didn't have light skin privilege. And then when I sat down and analyzed my words in this conversation, both my cousin and I, because we yellow as hell, talking to this brown sister about how we go through the same struggles she do every day. And we sat there and we were like, oh no, we sound just like them. Because when you have privilege, you're usually unaware of it. And what I got to witness out of this situation, and this is why I'm calling a spade, yeah, goddamn right I said that, is because I watched a white woman go off on me in that store, and the owners said nothing. I was quiet and respectful and made a comment, and I was shushed, and I was yelling. And they were fully ready to discipline me, but somehow scared to talk to her about her behavior, even when she verbally assaulted the owner in public. I can't abide by bullshit, y'all. That's just who I am. So that's why I went live tonight. Now, I am going to do something fun. And I don't do this very often. But you guys got to hold on for a second, because I got to see if I can set this up so it won't fall. Yay. Because I want to mix up my cards. Spirit told me that there's somebody here who needs a word. So I'm going to do one card readings if this thing don't fall. But I think I can hold it with one hand now. Spirits, ancestors, be with us. Give somebody what they need to know. And as they say, if the shoe fits, please wear it. So I'm going to do a couple one-card readings. I've just pulled the Four of Diamonds. Somebody here is financially stagnant. Somebody here needs to learn how to budget. Somebody here needs to learn how to change their spending ways. However, there is also a person here who saves and who is worried about the future. This card also means that there is no news is good news. There's somebody here that's about to invest their money foolishly, and God is telling you to wait. So if you have somebody coming with you about a deal that's too good to be true and they're trying to take your money, that card's for you. Peace, be still, sit still. Somebody needs to hear from the Jack of Spades. The Jack of Spades is a rebellious young man. Somebody here has a teenage daughter who is being led in the wrong direction by a boy who's going to get her pregnant. As your mother, as her mother or father, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come to your child in a way that will not encourage rebellious behavior, because that's what will happen if you come the wrong way. With my children, I do more do's than don'ts. I find that restricting children, especially, and not listening to their opinions and their voice, that's the difference between being respectful and disrespectful and obeying your parents' authority. Two completely different things. But, because when I say no, I mean no. But be careful. Because if you push too hard, your child is going to ruin her life. Somebody needed to hear that. And I'm sure I'm going to get a couple inboxes after this. And then the last card is the Two of Spades. Somebody here, about 4 people here, are in the midst of a relationship issue, facing a separation, because their partner is very unhappy and is always looking for a fight. My advice from Spirit is let them go. One thing I shared with anybody that comes to me with a romantic issue or a marriage issue, or domestic issues, is people who want to be with you will be with you. If people don't want to be with you, they will do things so that they have to go away. If someone is doing something that is making you want to go away, then go. And if that person's going to improve and that person really loves you and they want you back, they're going to be willing to do what's right to stay, to come back. I don't do reconciliation work. I don't force people's hands because I believe that people come into your life for a season. I done plowed through 2 husbands and wasn't listening to my spirit when I married either one of them. And if I had been, and if I'd been listening to my soul, I wouldn't have married them. But, I don't have anything bad to say about them today. But the reality is I learned a lesson. So, anybody got any questions? Because I guess I've said what I had to say. I didn't even expect it to go this fast. But like I said, it's been an emotional week. And, I know I got to finish the story. There's one more piece to this story that we didn't talk about. And that's, like I said, once again, voice policing. When the situation happened, I went outside, I calmed down, and then when I came back in, I sat down and I wrote a very important post because I like to teach. No, I'm not going to give the name of the store. It's not even worth it, But I'm just letting y'all know that if you hear some funky shit about me, it's no secret where I've told people where I was reading. But I'm just letting you know on my part of the situation what happened. I don't get into, it's not even necessary. But I just want people to know, especially people here in the Columbus area, if you hear any shit about me, I'm just going to set the record straight because I'm perfectly happy and willing to own my shit, especially when I'm ignorant. Because sometimes Eartha Kitt comes out, the Vaseline goes on, the earrings come off. I tie my shit up so they can't pull it, and it's on like Donkey Kong. Literally. I ain't afraid to fight. But there are times, because I'm a grown-ass, almost 50-year-old woman, that I know I need to shut up. So I wrote a status about that. I wrote that sometimes you need to know when to speak your mind, and sometimes you need to know when to be quiet. And sometimes you need to know how to apply those, and I said, and I'm learning. This woman called me, the other owner, and said, and then you got on Facebook and you made that post and you hurt my feelings. That's another reason why I'm not mentioning the name of the store. And everybody knew where you were. And I'm like, what? I'm sorry, Kenya, you might have to watch the recording. Can everybody else hear me? Okay. She said, you got on Facebook and hurt my feelings. I'm like, okay, first of all, don't you think it hurt my feelings that your fucking sister lied on me? Number one. Number two, that post wasn't about you. That post was about me. I didn't mention where I was. I certainly didn't go live like I planned to because that was a gift they didn't want me to give. Not a goddamn thing in the post was about her. I said, how you gonna get your feelings hurt about a post about me? That's some 5th grade shit. I ain't mentioned your name. I ain't mentioned where I was. You goddamn right. My cousin say if that fucking shoe fits, lace it up, walk on goddamn down the street, try it on. But even the post, it was not about any of them. It's about me. It wasn't about the situation. I could have been talking about somebody in my family. I'm like, and that's exactly what I said. Ooh, baby. I was like, Becky, everything ain't about you. I don't think she caught the Becky part. The world don't revolve around you. Okay? Exactly, Angel. I'm talking about me. So that's another thing. I'm not a real big fan of putting people on Front Street. If people who have known me for a long time, there's people who have known me since I started practicing, who have watched my development and my growth on Facebook. The one thing you know about me is I don't fuck with you till you fuck with me. But when you come at me, we gonna have a problem. I mind my own business. I don't really even share that much in chat because I own every word I say, and sometimes I want to be petty. If I want to be petty, I call my girlfriends, and there's only a few of them that I will call. So, for the most part, unless I consider it something to be egregious, like that post about the Black Witch Conference welcome anybody, And I was like, oh, hell no. And we had to get that cleared right the fuck up. And I just praised the women from that conference for coming forward and being like, oh, no, that ain't how it roll. This is a private event, and don't bring your ass. And feeling no shame. Because don't nobody come into the Masons meetings. My cousin worked at a banquet center. Masons had their event. You went in there. You fed them. If they ran out of shit, you could not go back into that room until they told you to. So, safe spaces. I'm all about safe spaces. And one of the things that I decided, Kenya, baby, it's going to be all on Facebook. It's going to be recorded. What I've learned about safe spaces is I'm best when I'm in mine. I doubt very seriously if I'll be reading for any other entity. I used to do a random, but them people are a real pain in the ass. Some of those people want pornography and they're inappropriate with you, and people want something for nothing. And a random, I think, is a great place for the solitary reader to expand their business. But some of the clientele has really turned a lot of people off, and there's not enough, you can't control it. So for the most part, my readings are going to be through me. You can just inbox me. I think my workshops are going to be through me. There are 2 other stores here in the Columbus area that I love, and I'll continue to work with them. And if they ask me to do a workshop, I'll consider it. But I'm finding that differences in culture, especially on their side, causes all this umbrage and outrage when it really shouldn't. When their perceptions about what they think I did get in the way of what I really did. And I really didn't do a goddamn thing but answer a question. Like I said, yeah, I could have phrased it better, but what was said that happened didn't happen. I did not go, full Ike Turner. I'm trying to think about a sister that really clowns. I didn't act like that chick on Saturday Night Live. Whatever, Leslie. I did not give them the Leslie. I gave them the Diane Carroll. I didn't even give them Eartha Kitt. But I gave them Eartha Kitt last night. So, yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much all I had to talk about. I didn't even want to talk about it. It makes me mad. It hurts my feelings that people that, really given the current situation in this country, if I had been listening a little bit harder to my spirits, they probably would have been like, girl, don't help them. Just no. And, in retrospect, sometimes we don't listen. That happens, and I can see that. The first time I offered something like that, and it was well received. But when it was time to follow up and do the work, it was no real response. That was my clue. But you know me, ever the giver, ever. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm not even gonna be sanctimonious about this shit. Of course, it was gonna benefit me. Of course, people were gonna see what I had the ability to share with them. I'm really honest about what I share, because honestly, if you can read, you can learn this. But as Judica Isles has said in her book, you can learn magic from a book, but then it's really important to have that human connection, to learn from a human being. And I am eternally blessed for the mentors that I've had magically, no matter if they're still mentors or not. People brought something into my life that I wasn't even really thinking about doing. I was at a part of my life when I was downsizing. I sure wasn't trying to get all this stuff. I was trying to get rid of things, move on, go into a different part of my life. And I was definitely ready to leave Chicago at the time. So, that was part of the problem, Tawana. I wanted to teach. I wanted them to be fairly confident in what they knew so they could have a better experience with their lives and their clients. Because That's what magic is about. Magic is not get rich quick. Magic is not about putting your enemies in the ground, although sometimes you gotta. Magic is just like any other form of prayer. It's to make your life and the people around you's life better. But at the same point, there are curses in the Psalms. Sometimes you have to call in the guard to vanquish your enemies, to silence your haters. So that's why there are two hands to magic. I prefer to practice the one where if you notice, most of my stuff is blessings and uncrossing and reversal. And now I had created some Goofer Dust, and it's really fucking amazing. But then I thought, no, I'm not going to sell it. There are some things I'm not going to sell because people are not responsible. Just like they use sage for every goddamn thing in the book. So, yeah, I want people just like, like a prophet of any religion, just like the witnesses go and knock on the door and the Mormons stand out with their little ties on, say, dude, can I tell you about the good news of Jesus Christ and John Smith, whoever he is? Yeah, I'm an evangelist for magic because the shit works. It's fabulous. I love it. I got freedom. I ain't worried about going to hell no more. I got a better relationship with Jesus Christ. I got a better relationship with my ancestors. I got a better relationship with a whole bunch of other deities that I didn't even know existed. So why wouldn't I want to tell somebody about that? But not everybody, number one, I want y'all to keep this in mind, is wanting to receive the gifts you have to offer. You have to learn when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, and when to run. That's one of my favorite songs. Secondly, not everybody is worthy of what you have to offer. And this is magic or otherwise. Invest in your life and people who are worth it. If they have proved that they are not up to the muster, it's okay. You move on, which was what I was prepared to quietly do until I found out that I had to hear about what happened on Saturday from somebody else, and the shit wasn't true. And the third thing is really invest in yourself, because I don't get those hours back. When you approaching 50, you start talking to friends who are dying and have life-threatening illnesses and terminal illnesses, you start counting the hours. Worry is a waste of imagination. And I saw that on one of my Facebook friends' cover photos, and I stole it. I don't have every other Saturday to waste not making money, and at least not planning for the future, because I'd have been finding good if we were brainstorming and all that other good shit, because I love that. I love people building their businesses. Even I've had several businesses. None of them failed, but none of them sustained me where I had to quit my job either. And so I have lots of passions. And so when I started practicing conjure, I closed my photography studio, and now I use my photography for my conjure. But so I love telling. Somebody asked me, friend of mine that's local here, would I be a coach? And honest to God, hell no, because I obviously, as demonstrated to y'all tonight, got a whole lot to learn about dealing with certain types of people. But the things that I tell you, I hope will coach you, because they're my personal experiences. And that's why I felt like I could share this with you, because this experience belongs to me. And I would have never said a word if I didn't have to hear about it from somebody else. Oh, and I blocked and deleted them, and I'm sure somebody's going to show them this. Cool. Because I'm going to maintain the same things I maintained in that phone call last night. And I'm just as fucking angry. And disappointed. And I'm going to have to work on that. But, don't get mad at me if you come to me and you want to try to do something with me. And I'm kind of like, You know, I might encourage you, give you a couple tips, whatever. But if I'm doing something, for the most part, I'm going to do me. If I'm asked to chip in and I'm appreciated, and I don't have to deal with a whole bunch of, I take it on a case-by-case basis. But that's a burn. That's a true injury. You know, if you can talk about having your spirit bruised on people that you wish nothing but good for. And basically, I was sabotaged. I was told that I was lying and that I behaved in a way that is counterproductive to business. And that doesn't happen, especially when I'm the one jumping up and greeting their customers when they come in the door. So, yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to go have a drink, chill out, maybe clean the table in this room. We burn too much incense. There's like ashes everywhere. But I'm willing to stay on a few more minutes. I think we've talked enough about this story to the point of boredom. Do you guys have any questions? You want to ask me anything? This is your time. Don't be scared. There are dumb questions. There are dumb questions. But you have a legitimate question, something that you want to know, I'll see if I can answer it for you. So, you know, and yeah, you are constantly learning. When you stop learning, you die. That's when you have fulfilled your purpose. When you've learned everything you need to know and you ever can know in your life, then you die. Conjure books. Okay, I'm going to tell you. The one, I do a mixture. I do a mixture of witchcraft and hoodoo stuff, but like I've always talked about Judika Isles. Mama Star's books are excellent. Excellent. Okay, you'll post yours by offline. Okay, all right. Fertility. I'm gonna have to look that up. But Kenya, I'm telling you, get yourself an African fertility fetish. The little round woman with the big breasts and the big behind. Set that next to your bed. That's one that would be very good. And it's a fetish. It's not a deity that I am aware of. But I'd have to look up something like that. But now you have to keep in mind I'm a root worker, so I'm not really a deity specialist. So I think somebody asked another question. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Conjure book. Back on Conjure book. Mama Star's books are excellent. There are lots of books out here on herbs and roots. There are, and like I said, I love Judika Isles. It's witchcraft. It's a mixture because she's gone everywhere and put together all of her books. It's a lot, you know, and you'll see the commonalities. It's not necessarily hoodoo. And I'm going to honestly tell you the truth. I'm yet to see a hoodoo publication that I am thoroughly convinced is from someone whose family practiced. Now, that's not to say it's not a good book. That's not to say that the stuff is not valid or researched. But from what I understand about hoodoo in particular, is it is passed down by family and mentors. And the only person that I've seen that's really willing to talk about it on that level is Star Cassis, who grew up in it. And is a distant relative of Gullah Geechee people. She look white, but don't let the white skin fool you. Okay? And Star's idea is people need to know this. We're losing things. We've lost a lot. And then we get mad because other folks trying to pick up what we call our magic, but we're not doing it. And so my grandparents, conjure was a way of life. It's how you clean your home. It's how you respect the dead. It's how you throw shawl over your shoulder when you drop it. It's how you take your shoes off before you come in the house. It's how you don't wash your hands in the kitchen sink. That was our life. And so I never thought about it was magic. But my grandmother did go to a worker. And so you have to understand what grown-ups didn't do was they didn't show us a lot of the shit they were doing either. So I grew up knowing my grandmother talked to dead people. I grew up knowing that there were spirits in our home, trickster spirits that like to hide shit. I grew up knowing that there was a death curse among the men in my family because in the 70s. I grew up knowing all these things. I grew up hearing family stories, and I grew up hearing about the Baron coming to visit my family, one person in my family, every time somebody else died. He'd stand at the end of your bed, he'd sit on your dresser, he'd tip his hat. And that is how I became a voodoo sign. Because Baron has always been in our lives until such point as my family were so scared of him that he stopped coming, you know? And so, you know, why I didn't grow up in the tradition, so the ritual, spell casting, herbs, formulas, roots, I had to get all that from a book. But I've been a psychic and an advice person for a very long time. My friends have always come to me when they needed a word, a place to stay, and some good old-fashioned advice. I've been doing this all my life, and I've been casting spells on people all my life, and I used to call it putting God on them. And I didn't know it. And when I learned what I was doing, I became a little bit more responsible with it, because I fucked some people up, and I still kind of feel bad about a couple of them, but they had it coming. So, yeah. So, let's see. Somebody says, Dad, bed pulling for the toe. Okay, I'm going to have to read that again. Constant hatred and foolishness of people. Okay, there are different cleansing roots. Lemon is always at the top of the list, okay? What I'm going to tell you about that type of magic, it is always better to be proactive than reactive, because by the time somebody's hatred is manifest into where it affects your life, and they can just have bad thoughts, bad energy, okay? One of my clients has sent me a really awesome message. That's so awesome. I gave her some peace. It just popped up on my screen. But there are cut and clear recipes in there, are lemon based, just like you go in the grocery store and you see lemon. And if you are just dealing with bad energy, simple root work products will handle things like that. Setting lights, putting things outside of your home, wearing things on your body, you know, casting even invisible circles around you. Calling to the elements of the wind and fire and the earth, and casting a protection. You know, like I said, your grandmama was praying grandmama, so you always had that protection around you. You got to start doing that on a daily basis. And that way it'd be like this. They come, it's like boop, boop, like the boy in the bubble. But if they've already gotten in, you know, sometimes simple cleansing product will help. Prayer, fasting, meditation, because you can't control how people treat you. You can only control how you react to them, which was the whole purpose for tonight's conversation. So, Carolyn, if it's gotten to the point where it's really having an effect on your life, you can try some spiritual work, but the spiritual work's going to be about you blocking that type of behavior from your life. Cleansing and protection. And it can't be something that you do if you believe in this work. Now, there's tons of people who don't, and I can't make you. Like, it's like when somebody tries to share the good news of Jesus Christ. Some folks ain't gonna hear it. Some folks are, okay? But if you do believe in this work, especially if you're a client of mine, then you're gonna have to make this your life. And I'm working on it too. Everything, you know, when I mop a floor, put some Van Van oil in there, you know, keeping that red brick dust. There's things I got to do that I'm working on here. You know, my neighbor's probably going to think I'm goddamn crazy. I'm probably going to have bottles hanging from every tree in my backyard. You never know. Okay? So you got to make it, it's just, you got to conjure for my people was like brushing your teeth. I didn't even know it had a name. So make it part of your everyday life. And really, you know, stop giving a fuck so much. That goes a long way. Because the minute I began to realize that they certainly wasn't giving me, they weren't having sex with me. I wasn't getting no dick. I wasn't getting no money. They wasn't paying nan bill. They weren't helping me out with any difficulty that I was having emotionally in my life. When I put that into practice, I gave zero to no fucks. And now I care about people that care about me or haven't given me reason not to. I have an empathy for people who are going through a hard time. But the minute I detect that you're not thinking about me the way I'm thinking about you, it's cool. Deuces. So I hope that helps. You always thought your dad was who, Kenya? I missed that. My favorite book for herbs, roots, and resins. I have so many. But give me just a second. I'm going to show you one of the greatest gifts I've ever received from my mentors. Hold on. Y'all got to hold on. I'm going in here into my bookshelf. And hopefully I can find it in the dark. Because somebody turned my light off. Hold on, y'all. I'm getting the book. I hope I have the book. Where is the book? Oh, I found it. Yoo-hoo-hoo. Now, I mean, there are some primers, you all, that are standard. Ironwood's book. Cunningham's books I love. But one of the greatest gifts I was given was an original copy of The Magic of Herbs by Henry Gamache. And a lot of people base a lot of their stuff off of what he talks about in this book. Oh, this book is so old. I try not to even open the pages. I'm trying to see what the copyright on this particular edition is, and I'm not seeing it because there's a sticker over it. Damn. There's a sticker over it. This book is old. And Kylie gave me this, gentleman who owns the Voodoo store, and he also gave me Plant Lore Legends and Lyrics. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Balm of Gilead, the mountains of Gilead and the East Holy Land were covered with fragrant shrubs. They give you the history of the root, with the most plenty being this one, and that sprouted the balm of Gilead. And they go through the history of the root. It talks about how to use it, just how it's been applied. It's old as well. They talk about the doctrine of plant signatures in chapter 8. And yeah, so Scott Cunningham, who unfortunately is no longer with us, he was amazing. Maybe I guess it was time for him to be an ancestor. There was no more for him to learn, but he was prolific while he was living. So his book is awesome. I also have a little web app called Magic Herbs that I always keep. Okay. Flower essences. What I understand about flower essences is that they are the water that's left after you make an essential oil. It's natural. Yes, I recommend them. I recommend anything. Every plant, every root, every mineral, every crystal has a spirit inside of it. It has a magical purpose. It has a medicinal purpose, and it usually has a mundane purpose. Johnson didn't just start putting lavender and baby stuff just 'cause. So, of course, it used to wake my little heathen up, so that's neither here nor there. I can't believe I named that child Trinity. But anyways, so flower essences, you do have to understand, are going to be weaker because they are the water that's left over after essential oil is made. Okay? Cunningham's The Oils book, and I ain't trying to get up off camera no more. I'm going to have to come prepared next time. Maybe I'll have to do this from my office next time. But yes, you live on a lemon grove. That's good. Keep you some lemons in your life. Lemons, if you can clean your house with salt, lemon, and baking soda. And if you do not believe me, go on YouTube and watch How Clean Is Your House. And watch how them women clean places that ain't been cleaned in 10, 15, 20 years with some lemon and some baking soda. Okay? Oh, you thought your dad was that spirit? Possibly. Maybe that has been his duty as an ancestor. I don't know. All I know, it was the Baron who came to us, and he was long black. You couldn't see what he looked like. He was tall. He was very, very unnaturally skinny, and he had a top hat. And when somebody would die, he'd just stand at the edge of your bed. We thought it was Abraham Lincoln for a fucking reason. And that's what happens When your family stops teaching you the religion of your ancestors, you miss this. I sometimes feel incredibly lost because of what I didn't get and wasn't even smart enough to ask, because I can promise you, if I had went down south and talked to my daddy's mama in Alabama, I'd have learned some shit. But I was a teenager, and she died when I was in my late 20s, and I wasn't woke. So it's hard, you know? And that's true. You have to understand in voodoo, the Baron and Madame Brigitte, they are the protectors of the cemetery, consorts of the dead, you know? So it makes perfect sense that you would see him, you know? He can be, because somebody don't want you to clean Paris, but go on, get down to clean it. I'm telling y'all, that's the first thing we did when we came here. We cleansed, we did protection, and we did peace. Okay, I ain't had a whole lot of that because I got kids, but I keep burning that peaceful home. And just, I'd never done that before. When I started practicing, I was already living in the place where I was living. So to come in and have a space and make it brand new and make it yours and clean it up, that was very important to me. And sometimes I'm telling y'all, I'm going to be real human and real with you. I sit down some days like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I believe this. And for a long time, I used to ask myself, do you really believe this? Do you really believe what you are? And that's why I didn't want to open a store. And I really didn't want to work publicly with people, because I wanted to make sure I really believed. And it got stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's with any act of faith. Faith proves itself. Blind faith is stupid. I don't care what anybody tells you. Don't believe something just because somebody told you to. Don't. But when I made offerings to my spirits, and I saw the impossible possible, I think I've told you the story about how I went off on my ancestors the day I built my altar. But because they're all hell raisers, they didn't get mad. They made sure I opened a $1,000 check that was sitting in my mail, because I was bitching at them because they didn't leave me any money. And then I found out later that my mom had left me and my sister $12,000. And it was because of a reading I got from Kylie that we remembered that the money was there. We'd forgotten. We forgot about my mother's stocks. And the statute of limitation had passed on her estate, so her bill collectors couldn't take it. And that's what we were waiting for. And when we were waiting, we forgot. We forgot the money was there. Now, if somebody's messing with your kids, we'll talk about that offline, because I don't like that shit. And Carolyn has a special place in my heart. She's a very good client, customer. Met her through somebody I used to work with. But if somebody's messing with your kids, I'll help you handle that. We're not going to have that. Okay? Any other questions? I'm trying to think of some gadgets that I've found recently that I love. I'm trying to slow down on my spending so I don't think, okay. Now, you all know that rose essential oil is expensive as all get out. As you might as well sell your child. That I use for the majority essential oils in my products, and I definitely always use the roots. But if there's one product that I have been so completely impressed with, and like I said, everything comes from the earth, but this is not an essential oil, it's a fragrance oil. And if you buy a product with rose in it and you pay the same amount that you pay for any other oil, trust and believe they ain't using no essential oil. But there's this fresh rose from Bulk Apothecary that just, it smells like love. If you could put love in a bottle, that is this thing called fresh rose that they use. And I ordered it just for the shits and giggles of it, because like I said, I use a lot of rose water and a lot of roses, because I don't like to use fragrance oils in conjure working. But baby, bye. I got that for myself. So that's one thing that I liked. Yeah, that's, yeah. So, yeah, I guess we've run out of things to talk about. And that's cool, too, because, I'm going to go ahead and get offline. I actually talked a lot longer than I thought I would. So, you guys have a wonderful night. I'm talked out. I probably will not be back on live for a while, but maybe I'll get happy about something and I'll get excited about something and I'll share it with you guys. I most definitely am excited about this Black Witch Conference. And yeah, I'll sell some things so I can get there if I have to, but luckily I have a hybrid and friends who live in Maryland. So I'm not going to have to do any of that. So I hope to see you all there. And it's hot as hell in here. So y'all peace out. I'm going to go sit on my back porch. Okay. Love, peace, Afro Grease. Y'all be easy. All right.